These are the Steelseries Arctis Gamebuds, a seemingly rather unique set of in-ear headphones, specifically because of this, a little USB-C dongle. This thing is the magic sauce that lets you connect not just to your phone, but to, in my case, an Xbox or PC, although they do make a PC/PlayStation version if you'd prefer that instead, over a 2.4 GHz connection, just like a regular wireless gaming headset. This extra feature will set you back a pretty penny, but it might just be worth it. So let's take a look around, have a listen, and we'll see if they're actually worth your hard-earned cash. First up, what's in the box? Well, actually first, the box itself, as that gives you a cheat sheet for all of the built-in controls, namely for the single button per earpiece. Single tap and hold for volume, double tap, triple taps, the works, it's all there. Then inside you have the case wrapped in a QR code telling you to download their app, and under that is a little box with two USB cables inside. One A to C and one A to female C for the dongle, plus two sets of different sized ear tips. Inside the fairly large for in-ears case, of course, are the buds, but also this USB-C dongle. This is that magic sauce. This is what lets you connect these to anything, a PC, Xbox, Switch, or PlayStation, at least depending on the model. And this has a very important little switch on it. When it's green, it's in Xbox/console mode, and when it's white, it's in PC mode. That switch is rather important because that's what lets you connect these to the SteelSeries engine and do stuff like firmware updates, something that the mobile app bugs you to no end about. Actually, speaking of the mobile app, that's where you do most of your customizations. While the controls from the buttons on the buds do let you do things like enable or disable active noise cancellation, yes, these have ANC, the app lets you tune it, and possibly more importantly, lets you access the current 266 different EQ modes. Yeah, you heard that right, 266. Most of these, in fact almost all of them, are for, or say for flat, a couple of music, and one movie one, are all for different games. Everything from BeamNG to Brawlhalla, Cat Quest 3 to COD Black Ops 6, and everything in between. It doesn't look like you can customize those profiles in the app or even really see what they're doing, although if you plug the dongle into a PC with the dongle set to PC mode, which isn't very clear from any of the instructions, you can customize this thing to no end. It's a graphical EQ, which has a bunch of draggable points that aren't just bound to a particular or specific frequency. If you really wanted 508 Hz pumped way up, but 509 Hz dropped way down, you can do that with this thing. You can change the Bezier curve points too, making this possibly the most customizable EQ I've seen. I should probably also show you around the buds themselves. They are, of course, pretty small, although they've opted for sort of in-ear molding shape rather than the stem design like most TWS buds. The built-in buttons are actually physical clicky buttons, not capacitive ones like most TWS buds, which was a little confusing at first to me, but actually feels pretty nice and means that when you're just like adjusting them in your ears or anything, you don't accidentally press the buttons. The clicks also don't translate into loud clicks into your ears either. That was something I was afraid of, but they're nice and easy to sort of find and hit, as it's basically the entire outer surface. Something that surprised me with these was the comfort. I was expecting that with these being in-ears, they would get uncomfortable fairly quickly. But I wore these for hours while gaming with a friend and listening to music, and had absolutely no problems. In fact, it was one of the hottest days of the year, and I was genuinely glad that these were, in-ears instead of heavy and hot over-ears. They also don't move around all that much or fall out, which is also kind of remarkable in that they're just pretty secure in your ears. Oh, and battery life is listed as 10 hours for the buds and a further 30 hours in the case, which is really not bad. As for the microphones, well, you're hearing them now. I have both earbuds in, so in theory this is the best audio quality that you can expect, and it's not amazing. Now, to be fair, it's perfectly usable, it's perfectly serviceable for your, voice chats, screaming about, enemies off to the left, whatever. It's perfectly fine for that, but compared to like even just a standard, over-ear headset, you are losing out some of the audio quality from that. These are okay, but still pretty compressed and tinny by comparison, especially to newer and actually similarly priced headsets. So perhaps something to keep in mind. As for the audio quality, I was a little underwhelmed. To be clear, these do sound perfectly decent, and for actually gaming, I would say that these are the perfect balance for both chat and in-game audio, and when you do add in those hundreds of EQ modes for games, I think they're perfect for that. For music and content though, I did feel like they're just missing a bit of both the top and bottom end tones, which would help sort of round out the sound a little more. Playing with the EQ does give a bit more clarity. I found that the highs are already just a little sharp and sort of overemphasized, so it makes it a tiny bit harsh for my ears. So to have the EQ modes basically all boost the highs, especially the music ones, that just makes it very uncomfortable for me. Still, a touch more bass and a little bit more in the mids as well can sound pretty good. They're not exactly audiophile grade or anything, but more than good enough. But that isn't what's frustrating about these things though. No, that is the connectivity. See, on the face of it, these seem great. They have Bluetooth and a 2.4 GHz connection, so much like basically all multi-connection headsets, even from SteelSeries, well, these must let you listen to music or chat on Discord from your phone over Bluetooth while still hearing game audio from 2.4 GHz, right? Wrong! These do not support simultaneous audio. You have to triple tap on the bud to switch between Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz modes, or use the app or computer to do it. Like, seriously, what's the point? Why spend £150 on a set of in-ears that can't do what £50 headphones can? I must admit that I can't figure that one out. The lack of simultaneous audio is a bit of a deal breaker for me, especially at this sort of price tag. Sure, these are unique, offering TWS buds for PC and console, including a properly supported Xbox or PlayStation dongle, but without simultaneous audio, I feel like you're missing out on the main benefit of having multiple connection modes. Still, thanks to the dongle, if you prefer in-ears, especially for console gaming, these seem like a reasonable if expensive choice. I have genuinely enjoyed gaming with them, and the convenience of having in-ears, especially in these painfully hot days and especially nights, is great. But I don't think I could justify the £150 price tag. Perhaps if you do specifically game on console, the sort of higher price tag might make a bit more sense, but well, those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours in the comments down below. What do you think of Steelseries Arctis Gamebuds? Are these for you, especially with their console support, or are these just a bit too dear? Does the lack of simultaneous audio bother you as well? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to check these out, I will leave a link to them in the description, and you can also check out plenty of other links down there, including to my own hardware, the open source response time and latency testing tools. You can also check out the subscribe button to see more videos like this one and plenty more on the end cards. And otherwise, yeah, thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed it, we'll see you all in the next video.